Hi everyone, hope you're having a wonderful morning or have had a wonderful day. Please take a support to come and sit into Virasana. Knees together, long calf muscles and feet apart. So taking the heels, I'm going to demonstrate for today, taking the heels either side of that support so that when you come to sit, the buttocks will land in between the soles of the feet. And do sit yourself maybe a little higher than normal so that you don't stress the knees. It's more about giving an opportunity in the sitting like this to ease and lengthen the thigh muscles. Take your hands and cup your hands underneath the knee joint and release that skin underneath the knees. And then lengthening the shin bones, ease and lengthen each one of the toes backwards. So the soles of the feet open and rest onto the tops of the feet. Little toe side of the foot resting as heavily as the big toe. So as the inner groins release and soften, lengthen the inner thighs away towards the inner knees, allowing the inner knees to almost ease up and out, and come and sit. Release the buttock flesh, expose the knuckles of the buttock bones, center the spine, and feel with the two buttock bones rooting down. There's a space in between the buttock bones, the pelvic floor, the tailbone. Can you lift that up so that in the drawing of the pelvic floor up, you can broadly spread the abdomen to the broadness of the support of the back body. Feel as if the spine becomes as wide as the whole of the back body. Bring your palms into Atmanjali Mudra. Broaden the back and the base of your skull and let that ease upwards as if broadly lifting up and off the top of the spine. Bring your palms into Atmanjali Mudra and close the eyes. Allow yourself to fully settle as you feel the base of the pose, surrendering to the heaviness of gravity and that rebounding action of the lift into lightness. The lift at the base of the skull, broadly easing upwards. Soften the eyes away from the back of the eyelids. Inner eyes melting to the back of the head. Outer eyes surrendering to the temples. Temples soft. Allow the gaze of the eyes to melt down behind the cheekbones and come into the whole of the trunk area. Aware of the back body, the space behind you, and allow the broadness of the back body to rest into that space behind you. The lumbar spine spreading, broadening back. Feel as you ease the pubic plate up and settle it into the body. There's a sense of spreading the abdomen broadly back into that support of the broadness of the back body. So the soft front body comes to rest in the stability and the support of the broadness of the back body. As you rest the tongue into the floor of the mouth, the tongue release from the back of from the front of the upper throat to the back of the upper throat. As if even the tongue comes to rest in the support of the back body. And then allow the breath to begin right from the base of the pose, right from the pelvic floor, broadly easing up that broad front of the back body, the front of the spinal column, easing upwards to the broadness of the base of the skull as you inhale, and then releasing all the way broadly down the back of the back body as you exhale. Slow, soft, rhythmic breathing. Mind coming to rest in the breath. Internally, quietly chanting Om with each inhale, with each exhale. Keeping that sense of lift and lightness to the front of the spine, the back of the sternum. Release the back of the neck and bring your chin to your chest. Feel how the chest eases upwards as if to support the chin. Make your own inner acknowledgements. Raise your head. Release your hands onto your thighs. And gently, slowly let the eyes come open. Take one of your belts and come and lie down on your mat with your feet up against the wall into Supta Tadasana. So have your belt handy. You won't be using it just yet, but bend up your legs and have your legs bent for the moment. So slightly bent, your feet into the wall. Grip the edge of your sticky mat. Now, as you pull your mat towards you, slide your buttocks to the wall. So you get that extension of the whole of the back body, right from the shoulders, through the upper buttocks, through the calves, all the way to the soles of the feet, especially the heels. Press the whole of the foot into the wall, like you're doing Tadasana, but this is Supta Tadasana. Feel the length of the upper buttocks, drawing back through the calves to the heels. Feel how by doing that, the lumbar spine can move back into the space behind you, just like you were doing in the sitting. So this is just reconfirming these actions. So as the upper buttocks lengthens towards the heels, the lumbar spine has space to spread and open back. And when the back body can move into the space behind it, feel how there's an easing upwards of the pubic plate towards the sternum. And then it's as if the abdomen and the abdominal cavity surrender back to that back body to the space behind it. And just be there. Feel from these actions that if you move the front thighs more firmly onto the thigh bone, like you're going to press the thigh bone into the floor, you have more capacity to get the awareness into this abdomen moving to the back body. So just be there in the breathing process, inhaling, exhaling, feeling how the upper buttocks lengthen towards the heels, how the abdomen moves back to the spine, and the front thighs move to the back thighs. And the more you move the front thighs back, the more the capacity is to move the abdomen back. So make this imprint. Let it come into the somatic memory of the cellular structure of the body. So when we do this for long enough, frequently enough, it's a new habit that we develop. And then from there, bend up your legs, place your feet on the floor, take your belt and put it around your heel bones. Have your legs as wide as your hips and bring your legs just to 90 degrees, no closer. And now have that same awareness. As you roll the inner and the outer thighs back, bring these front thighs to the thigh bone and extend through the inner legs, from the inner groin to the inner heel, and draw from your hands the shoulders down to the floor. So it's like you've got this closed circuit. You press the inner heel away, you pull with your hands, and you retract the upper arms into the shoulder socket. Then as you press the inner heels into the belt, you draw from the outer heels through the outer knees, the hip into the hip socket. Abdomen back, lumbar spine back. Find how the abdomen can spread and soften back. All those many actions coming to the hub of this abdomen, moving back into its rightful place. Release the belt, bend your legs. Now take your left foot and put it onto your right knee. Take your hand to, I'm going to demonstrate this way, so that you take your hand onto the top of the thigh and move the thighs back. Feel how the abdomen moves back and the lumbar spine has capacity to move further back. So when you do this, there's more of an action here. It becomes like the beginnings of what's referred to as Uddiyana Kriya. Kriya is an action. So this Uddiyana is this moving back of the abdomen, front to back. And then releasing the one leg, put the other foot up. And now move the front thighs back. So this is going to be of the raised leg. It's going to be more the inner thigh you're moving back, but feel the capacity for the abdomen. The more you work these thighs back to the back thigh, the more the abdomen's going to drop. Lumbar spine's going to move back. And from there, just release, relax, and rest there for a moment in neutral. So having made this imprint, we want to maintain it as the focal point of our practice for today. Roll over to the right and come up. We're going to do a few rounds of Surya Namaskar, going into a few variations. So come and stand with the feet together, just as you were doing in Supta Tadasana. So dare to stand a little more into that space behind you. Do that by standing a little more firmly into the horseshoe shape of the heel bones. Lift your thighs, move the front thighs to the back thighs so that the lumbar can move into that space behind you and the abdomen moves into its rightful position. Feel to counterbalance all this moving back, that the middle buttocks moves deeply into the body, that you bring the tail into the body and you take the pubis to the tail. So not only is there compacting from the outer hips in, there's a compacting front back and front to back. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Lift upwards and on the exhalation, fold far forward, front thighs to back thighs. Bring your hands alongside your feet and breathe out, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift and lengthen the front body, concave your upper back. Bring this dorsal into the back and bend your knees so the whole of the front body is laying along the thighs. Step your right leg back. Step your left leg back. Bend your knees, take your sternum, just like you were doing, that front body to the thighs. Lumbar spine back, and now straighten your legs. Lumbar spine into that space behind you. Abdomen back to the back body. From there, inhale, come forwards into Palakasana, front thighs to back thighs. Lengthen those upper buttocks like you did in Supta Tadasana. Abdomen to the lumbar. And now, as if you're going to pull your navel back and up, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Once more, coming forwards into Palakasana, so that now you start to include all the somatic memory into the actions that you're doing in Palakasana. Long upper buttocks towards the heels. Press the heels away from you. Abdomen to lumbar. Inhale, lift up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. From there, step your right leg forward, step your left leg forward, fold down, Uttanasana. As you inhale, lengthen the front body, concave the upper back, front thighs to back thighs as you come forward and up, Urdhva-hastasana. Lift up, lumbar spine back, abdomen back, front thighs back. Exhale, go far forward, release your head, Uttanasana. As you inhale, lift your head, lengthen the front body once more. Bend your knees, lengthen the trunk along those thighs. Step your left leg back, right leg back. Bend the knees, take your long trunk along those thighs. Lumbar back, and on the exhalation, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Abdomen to lumbar. Inhale, come forwards, lengthen the buttocks to the heels, Palakasana. Shoulders roll back, front thighs to back thighs, abdomen back. Be aware of what's taking place, the connection of the abdomen to the lumbar. Inhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. It's like the navel draws back to lift you up. Once more, Palakasana. Start to make these imprints, the somatic memory into the cellular structure of Palakasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. From there, left leg forward, right leg forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Uttanasana. Front thighs to back thighs, abdomen back, Urdhva-hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana. We're going to go a bit further now. Inhale, Urdhva-hastasana, reaching forward, front thighs back. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, concave upper back. Keep that long front body. Step the right leg back, left leg back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, come forward. Set yourself up in Palakasana. So abdomen back to the lumbar. Chaturanga Dandasana. Press the heels back. Come back and up. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Once more. Palakasana. Exhale. Chaturanga Dandasana. Come back and up. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step your right leg forward. Step your left leg forward. Uttanasana. Concave Uttanasana. Urdhva-hastasana. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, Uttanasana. Concave upper back. Be on your fingertips. Step your left leg back. Step your right leg back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. As you inhale, Palakasana, abdomen to lumbar, long upper buttocks, front thighs back, Chaturanga Dandasana, back and up, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Once more, come forwards, Palakasana, abdomen back to lumbar, Chaturanga Dandasana. Come back and up, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step your left leg forward, right leg forward, Uttanasana. Breathe out. Inhale, concave upper back, Urdhva-hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana. Stand a little more into the heels, front thighs to back thighs. Abdomen resting back as you deepen the buttocks in to equalize that balance, front to back, back to front. So from here, we're going to include Virabhadrasana 3. Inhale, Urdhvastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Lift your head concave, step the right leg back, left leg back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Abdomen back to the spine. Lumbar spine broad. Now inhale, come into Palakasana. Step your right leg forward. Same awareness in the abdomen, the lumbar spine. Come forwards. Virabhadrasana 3. Firm up the standing leg. Stretch into your left heel. Now abdomen back, lumbar back. From that firmness, stretch away. It's like the navel, the lower abdomen, the center of gravity. Extend forward, reach back. Bend your right knee, step back with the left leg. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Abdomen back, lumbar back. Now step the left leg forward. And shoot forward. Virabhadrasana 3. Firm up that standing leg. Abdomen back, lumbar back. Stretching to the heel, extending to the fingertips. Bend the knees, step the right leg back, left leg back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step your right leg forward, left leg forward. Uttanasana. Concave upper back, Urdhvastasana. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, Urdhvastasana. We're going to repeat this once more. Uttanasana. Concave upper back. Step your left leg forward, back. Right leg back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now once more, come forward, Palakasana. Press the heels back. Step your left leg forward. Keeping this action on the exhalation, come forwards and up. Virabhadrasana 3. Abdomen back, long upper buttocks. Extend as much forward from the pubis as you reach from the shoulders back. Step the right leg back, left leg back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. From there, step your right leg forward, left leg forward, Virabhadrasana 3. So we've approached Vira 3 in two different ways, but both of them, the abdomen is back. The lumbar spreading into that space behind you. And from there you radiate. Bend your right knee, step your left leg back, right leg back. Breathe. Adho Mukha Svanasana is a recovery pose. Step your left leg forward, right leg forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhvastasana. Exhale. One last sequence that we're going to do will be Palakasana and Urdhva Mukha Svanasana included in this. Urdhvastasana. And before we do this, an additional action is going to take place now. As much as we have the abdomen moving to the lumbar, as the upper buttocks lengthen, now in Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, we add an additional stronger curling of that tailbone in and the pubic plate moving back. We haven't focused so much on that now as we did earlier on. It's been more this getting the imprint of the abdomen back. So this gets included in that arching back into Urdhva Mukha. Urdhvastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Now as you inhale, concave upper back. Step your right leg back, step your left leg back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. From there, come forward, Palakasana, abdomen back. long upper buttocks. Now from there, roll over your toes and bring the middle buttocks deep into the body. Glue those middle buttocks in, tail in, sacrum in. Lift the abdomen back and up, and look up. From there, lift the hips, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Upper buttocks long, abdomen back. Inhale, right leg forward, exhale, left leg forward, Uttanasana. Concave as you inhale, Urdhva-hastasana. Last one, inhale, Urdhva-hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Lift your head, concave upper back. Step your left leg back, right leg back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Come forward into Palakasana. So all that memory, abdomen back, upper buttocks long. Now as you roll over the toes, dig those buttock bones in. Scoop the tailbone in. Lift the abdomen back and up. And look up and over your eyebrows. And from there, lift your hips. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Bend your legs and come into Adho Mukha Virasana. If the arms need to relax, bend the elbows, rest the palms, and just breathe. Feel even in this position how the lumbar spine has tremendous space to spread and move into this back plane of the body, allowing the abdomen to broadly settle into its rightful position. Breathe. Just want to give that tissue. And then coming up, come and stand in the center of your mat and have your feet slightly wider than the hips, heels slightly out and toes ever so slightly turned in. So that you encourage, if I face forwards, you encourage this internal rotation of the inner thighs moving back that we so often refer to. But at the same time, the outer thighs cut back, so these middle thighs, like our whole practice today, has been moving those middle thighs onto the thigh bone. Take your thumbs. If this is the triangular bone of the sacrum, you want to put your thumbs onto the sacroiliac joint area, where the sacrum meets the hips, and wrap your fingers around the hips. So you're slightly pigeon-toed. Stand more into your heels so the front thighs move back, and pin the mound of the big toe down. Now you've got your hands on that sacroiliac area. Biomechanically, feel like you're going to pull your hands down. So that's getting that length of the upper buttocks down. Once you get that, you want to counterbalance that by lifting the back thighs up. And then from there, that action that we did in Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, you want to bring the middle buttocks in. So now we're combining all these actions of the lumbar moving back, the abdomen moving back, the upper buttocks long, but to move the middle buttocks in, we have to lift those back thighs up. Stand fully into your legs. So front thighs to back thighs. Lift those back thighs up. And now moving the sacrum, the middle buttocks into the body, lift the dorsal, lift up. Don't think back, think up for the moment. Now, press your hands into the middle buttocks and come up to arch back. So front thighs resist back, middle buttocks in. It's like you want to move the hips forward, but stand fully into the legs. Broadly release the base of the skull up off the top of the spine. Breathe, lift the dorsal. Inhale. Keep the head heavy, hanging back as you come standing up. So truly standing into the legs. And at all times, yes, most probably getting in, and this dorsal thoracic lifting up. Those are the major points of departure for our back bends. Now you're going to take the palm of the hands onto those buttock bones that are moving into the body. So stand into the heels, the mound of the big toe, thighs up, front thigh to back thigh, middle buttocks in, abdomen back. Now lift the dorsal, front thighs to back thighs, lift the back thighs, middle buttocks in, start to arch up and over the dorsal thoracic. Feel like there's an arrow in these lower back ribs shooting up to the sky. From that point, let the head ease back, base of the skull, releasing off the top of the spine. Breathe, arch more, legs ramrod straight, don't let the knees bend. Puff out the backs of the knees, arch more. Move the buttocks deep into the body, tail into the body, arch, abdomen back. From there, come up. Breathe. Just pause for a moment, check in, were you breathing? So often, when we compress the base of the skull and we push it back, all of this area pumps out and hardens, and we get headache, nausea. So keep the base of the skull broad and easing, in this case, when you drop back down to the floor. So now, once more, we're going to take the heel of the palm onto the buttocks and get that arching action, lifting the thighs, front thighs to back thighs, middle buttocks in. Now dorsal up, and in one flowing action, arch back. Legs ramrod straight, front thighs back, back thighs up, abdomen back, arch. Can you see the floor yet? Then pressing your hands into your buttocks, come up, breathe. Now, when you've gone to your very maximum, you can slightly bend the knees and start to walk your hands down the calves. So, taking your preference, either the thumbs onto that sacroiliac joint or the heel of the palm onto the buttocks, but take what is preferable for you. Stand into the heels, front thighs to back thighs, lift the back thighs now, middle buttocks in, sacrum in, tailbone in, arch back, base of the skull, drop it down. Now bend the knees, walk the hands down the back of the legs. Breathe. Abdomen back from that dorsal thoracic. Come on. And come and kneel. Take a brick in between your heels. If you don't have a brick, have two foams. Have some support in between the heels so that the heels can be against the brick for Ustrasana, camel pose. So parallel the thighs, and here for today, let the outer knees be in line with the outer hips. Once more, take your thumbs into the sacroiliac joint. With your index finger thumb, draw the upper buttocks down, but as you lift the thighs, these back thighs allow the middle buttocks to cut in. front thighs to back thighs, just like you were doing in your arching. Inhale, lift the dorsal, and on the exhalation, base of the skull, broad and long, arch back. Keep your hands to your buttocks. Breathe, stand the shins into the floor, lift the dorsal, arch back. From there, inhale, come up. Just pause for a moment, breathe. Check, did the abdomen pump up? Was there a sense of the front thighs just not hitting to the back thighs? So it's fully engaging the tailbone, the sacrum into the body, whereas the abdomen moves back to that support of the lumbar. So this is why we repeat the poses, to start getting that somatic memory into the cells. Now put the heel of the palm onto the buttocks. Stand the shins, the front of the ankles, press down, the top of the feet, oops, press down. Middle buttocks into the body. From there, lift the thighs, front thighs back, and now dorsal in. As you press the shins down, lift your dorsal, arch up and over. Breathe. Dorsal up, middle buttocks in, tailbone in, sacrum in, abdomen back, arch. See how far you can go. Breathe, abdomen back, soft. Base of the skull, releasing. Back of the neck long and soft. Inhale, come up. And just sit for a moment. Breathe. Please checking if that nausea or the headaches are starting to settle in. Breathe a little more deeply, both the inhale and the exhale. Give yourself a moment's break. And then from there, the final pose of Ustrasana. Come and kneel. So now take whatever is preferable for you, either the thumbs onto the edge of the sacrum or the heel of the palm onto the buttocks, whatever works best for you. Draw the upper buttocks down, lift the back thighs, middle buttocks in, tailbone in, sacrum in. Lift the dorsal as you stand the shins down. Start to arch back. Release the base of the skull. Then from there, release your hands to your heels, to the soles of your feet. Lift the dorsal, broad back skull. And breathe. Stand the shins down. Lift the back thighs, middle buttocks in, tailbone in. Press the hands into the feet and lift the dorsal. Breathe. Reside here. Be here. Open the heart center. Dig that dorsal in. Enjoy this opening of the spine into a way that's not usual. Then inhale, come up. Sit your buttocks onto the brick, onto your foams, whatever the support is, and just settle there. Be there for a moment. Abdomen back, lumbar back. I'm a little close, so have your support in between your heels, knees together, be in Virasana. Lengthen both side seams of the trunk. Take your left hand to your right knee and take your right hand to the wall behind you. You can see I've shifted so that this shoulder can release down and the elbow subtly bent so the hand comfortably comes into the wall. Cup your palm over your right knee. Ground both buttocks. Lift equally the side ribs up, and on the exhalation, pull and push with your hands to turn the whole of the rib cage, left to right. As you breathe in, broadly lift the front of the back body. As you breathe out, soften the abdomen back, and turn. Tuck your chin slightly in and turn your head to look towards your right hand. Inhale, come back to center. Check that both buttocks grounded. Take your right hand, cupping it over the left knee. Take your left hand to the wall. So have your hand, if needs be, slightly lower than the shoulder. So you can roll that shoulder back and bring this inner lower shoulder blade into the back. So that same concave action of the dorsal thoracic. But just breathe into broadly lifting the front of the back body. So in other words, the front of the spine, the back of the abdomen. Exhale, turn from right to left. Keeping the buttocks equally grounded. Turn your head to look over towards your left hand, your left shoulder. And then release, come back to center. Slip your feet to the left, tucking your right foot, if I demonstrate this way. So I was there. Tuck your right foot underneath and take your left ankle and put it over the top of the right foot. And for Bharadvajasana, take this support, be it your foams or your brick, just underneath the right buttocks. Settle both knees. So you might be fairly high, that's fine, but let the left buttocks become heavy. Heavy left buttocks settling. Both sides of the trunk equally long. Take the back of your left hand onto the top of that right thigh and take your right hand behind you. So allow this arm to straighten and press the back of the hand into the thigh. If you can get the fingers closer to the floor, do so. Lengthen equally, both left and right side of the trunk. Exhale, turn, soften the abdomen. Ground your left buttocks. Feel as if your left buttocks seeking out the floor. So inhale, broadly lift the front of the spine, the back of the abdomen. Exhale, softening the abdomen back, turn. Turn your head. Can you look beyond your little finger of your right hand? Turn your head a little more. Roll that left shoulder back and down as you press the back of your left hand into the right thigh. Breathe, lift as you inhale, twist as you exhale. And from there, release, come back to center, come up and slip your feet over to the right. So now your left foot goes underneath and the arch of your right, your ankle goes over the arch of the left foot. Take your support, put it underneath your right buttocks. Left buttocks, and now make your right buttock heavy. Back of your right hand over the left thigh. Place your left hand onto the wall. No higher than your shoulder, so that you have ease of rolling that left shoulder back. Sit your right buttocks down. Let the right buttocks seek the floor. Lift equally, left and right side seam of the trunk. And exhale. Use the hands to broadly take the abdomen back and turn it. Inhale, lifting broadly the front of the back body. Exhale, twisting, turning, going a little further. Breathe, use the breath, use the hands to take you further in the lift, in the twist, as you soften the abdomen back to that broad lumbar spine. And release, let go, and just stretch your legs away from you and come and sit in Dandasana. Just open the backs of the knees, let the upper buttocks settle. Come back to a symmetrical centering pose. And from there, release. Then take one of your belts and making a loop with the belt, hook your thumbs into that loop like we do for Savangasana. Have that size of a loop. Come and lie on your back. Hook your index finger and middle finger into the loop, feet apart. Remember those slightly pigeon-toed feet that you did in the arching? Hook this belt around, and now turn your whole of your inner upper arm up and out. Press your shoulders down and lift your spine, especially from the base of the skull all the way to the sacrum. Lift the whole of the spine into the back. Press the shoulders, press the heels and the balls of the feet down. Now, move your middle buttocks into the body. Broadly take your abdomen back to the lumbar and lift up. So all the actions we've done today, pulling on the belt, tuck your shoulders more deeply underneath you. Front thighs back, but lifting those back thighs, move the middle buttocks in. Move the middle buttocks further in. Abdomen drops back to the lumbar spine and release and come down. Now, if you can, take all 10 digits and wrap them around the front of your ankle. If this is not possible, take your belt once more. Stand the heels, the ball mound of the big toe down, shoulders down, spine into the back, middle buttocks, tailbone in and come up. Walk your shoulders to your feet. Stand your heels down. Now middle buttocks in, sacrum in, tailbone in, front thighs back. Breathe. Abdomen moves to the back body. All those actions that you've made an imprint. And then release and come down. Can you grip a little tighter? If you're using your belt, stay there. But now you're a little more firmly onto the top of your shoulders. Press your shoulders, press your feet down and come up. Now walk in a little bit more. Lift your heels and put your hands under your feet. So like in Ustrasana, you were pushing your hands into your feet. Push your feet into your hands. Lift the middle buttocks, lift the tail, lift the sacrum. Abdomen back. Breathe, lift higher, just for 5 more seconds. And then release, let go, and just lie down. Release your shoulders, release the lumbar. Feel once more how that lumbar rests into the earth. Have the legs bent. Rest the front body to the back body. Come back to neutral. Draw your left leg towards you. Interlock the fingers around the head of the shin bone. And just let the lumbar spine, so now it will rest more into the left side. Let it be. Take it in as much as you can feel release in the back waist, the lower back. Completely passive left leg. Stay for a while. When we stay, then all the finer muscles also have an opportunity to let go. They've supported you. Now you want to allow them to ease and relax completely. Release your left leg. Draw your left leg up, right leg up. Completely relax the right leg. Draw the right leg towards you. So now the right side of the sacrum, the lumbar, will deepen more into the mat. Can you keep the back of the neck long, the base of the skull broad, easing up off the top of the spine? As if you're creating this vast space at the base of the skull, all around the brainstem. Like we open the heart center, can you open and spread that brainstem area, the lunar plexus, the ananda or bliss brain? Let it open and then release. Draw both legs up. Interlock the fingers wherever. It might be the head of the shin, the middle of the shin, around the lower shin, wherever works for you. And just rock from side to side. And then create little circles, going round in one direction 3, 4, 5 times. And then reverse that, going round in circles 3, 4, 5 times. And then once more, come to center, Supta Parvanuttasana. Then from there, once more, taking your belt, put your belt around the heels and feet apart, bring your legs to 90 degrees. No closer. So that as you push into the belt, you can draw back from the belt and spread the lower back. So the more action, the more reaction. Press a little more into the inner heels. Then bring your feet together. And now push into those inner heels and pull back with the belt. So you draw your outer hips into the socket. And spread the whole of the lower back. Make the lumbar spine broad. Make the tail long and tuck it in. So press the sacrum down, press the lumbar down. Spread the abdomen back. Even breathe out, and when you get to the end of the exhalation, suck the abdomen back to press the lumbar down. And then from there, release, let go, put your feet on the floor and come back to neutral. Check in on how your back is now. We've done some deep arching up and over, requiring especially of that lower back to support us. Roll over to your right, and here, either taking your foams, if you don't have foams, take a bolster. If you don't have foams or a bolster, take your chair so that the legs are bent. I'm taking 4 foams alongside each other, plus a blanket over the top. As I say, if you have a bolster, take a bolster. If you haven't got either, put the chair here and put your calves onto the seat of the chair. But come and lie down with your legs bent, either feet on the front edge of the chair or your feet onto this bolster. Grip the outer edge of the sticky mat. Feel like you're pulling the sticky mat towards you and tuck your shoulders underneath you. So right from the base of the skull to the sacrum, your spine is off the floor. Roll your inner upper arms out and press the back of the upper arms down. Press the shoulders down. Lift your buttocks and slide those upper buttocks to the bolster. Relax your arms. Rest your shoulders. Stretch your legs up and over the bolster. If you're onto the chair, rest your calves onto the seat of the chair. Roll your inner thighs out. Let the inner knees roll out. Let the little toe rest on the floor or on the seat of the chair. Then keep your shoulders moving down. Lift your head. Look along that horizon line of the front body. Are you lying centrally with the spine? Are your legs left to the left, right to the right, falling equally out? Keep the back of the neck long. Pull broadly the base of the skull up off the top of the spine. So slightly bring your chin to your chest. And then close your eyes. Release your lower jaw. Release your skull. The whole of the arm, right from the back of the palm to the shoulder, completely rest into the earth. With the whole of your leg, right from the outer heel to the hip bone, rest. Let the abdomen rest back to the lumbar spine. Let the back body rest deep into the earth. Let the tongue completely relax right from the root of the tongue. Let the eyes rest back into that space around this brainstem. Let the ears melt inwards. Let the inner channels of the ears softly open. Allow the senses of perception to withdraw to that space in the brainstem. And allow those senses to quieten. Allow the mind, the sixth sense, to just surrender into that space with the other senses, melting down into the chest area. Left eyeball to release and rest in the base of the left lung. Right eyeball to release and rest in the base of the right lung. Let the brain cells soften and melt down into that space in between the two lungs, coming to rest in the heart center. Let the heart center soften, melt open. Rest there, surrender there, reside there. Let go completely. Keeping the senses quiet and passive, gradually, gently allow the breath and the prana that rides in and on the breath to start to spread through the whole of the inner body. Gently move the tip of your fingers over the tip of your thumb and feel the softness of the skin. Gently move the toes, feel the heels moving on the mat. Roll your legs towards each other and one by one draw up your legs so your feet rest either on the front edge of the chair or onto that bolster. Extend your right arm up and over your head and keeping your legs tucked in, roll over to the right. Keeping the eyes closed, the head passive. Press down with your left hand and curl your spine to come sitting up in Sukhasana. Crossing the legs in whatever way is comfortable for you. Folding and resting the palms into Atmayanjali Mudra. Let the breath settle back to its normal everyday rhythm. Bow your head to your heart, making your own inner acknowledgements, giving thanks to the gurus that have been in our lives in many and every way, and to this guru within, our own innate knowledge and wisdom. Namaste. Thank you for joining for the practice. Have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening.